Good morning. My name is Monica Dombrowski, and I'm the Technology Education Manager at Gail Borden Public Library in Elgin, Illinois. Today I'm going to be speaking to you about ways to market the instruction you're providing in libraries. While my presentation is geared toward public libraries, I previously worked in an academic library and a corporate library, so the information I'll be discussing can be applied to other environments. So without further ado, let's get started. Today we'll be talking about marketing goals, research and preparation, marketing channels, pre-class, in-class, and post-class marketing opportunities, and how I've gone about marketing my Gale's Toolkit grant project for ALA Publishing. Please keep in mind that marketing is a broad subject and my presentation is only 30 minutes long, so I won't be taking a deep dive into these topics. However, I will leave time to answer your questions at the end, and will provide my contact information so you can reach out at any point in the future. Before you begin doing anything, it helps to formalize your marketing goals. Creating formal goals allows you to create specific activities to support them and measure success. They also help you ensure you're using the correct channels for each type of class and have the proper resources to bring your marketing plan to life. Some common goals include raising awareness about your services. Technology classes are a newer service for many libraries, and despite all your efforts, some people still don't know you offer them. Building repeat customers. The goal of every class is to teach users something to improve their lives. A secondary goal is giving them such a great experience that they want to attend other classes you offer in the future. Encouraging library users to try a tech class for the first time is another goal. It won't surprise you when I say that many adults are intimidated by technology and fear looking stupid or foolish in front of others, so getting these folks to sign up and walk through the classroom door is always a concern. Securing feedback on classes is important because you can't build classes in a vacuum. I can spend days developing what I believe is great content, but if the participants don't agree, then I'm not really helping. As instructors, we need evidence to validate that our efforts are closing the gap and giving customers what they want and need. I love the new ALA campaign, Libraries Equals Education. This idea is why I left my corporate career behind 5 years ago and decided to make the move into libraries full time. I was poor as a child, I moved a lot, and I was shy, which left me an outsider with few friends. It could have been a really lonely upbringing, but it wasn't because of libraries. No matter what I had, or where I lived, or how many friends I had, I could go to the library, get a book, and instantly become anyone else in the world through the magic of stories. I used the library to educate myself, cultivate my social skills, and learn about the world, all of which built my confidence and allowed me to dream of what was possible. Truly, in my case, the library was the great equalizer. And in this digital age where we're overloaded by information and tools, it's even more important to promote it as a place of education. Once you identify your goals, it's time to do some research and prepare. Research involves gathering information, and preparation involves creating materials, building a network, finding partners, and developing skills. First, it's important to get to know your community. Who lives here? What are they interested in? What are their expressed and unexpressed needs? How do they like to learn? Use surveys, census data, or other demographic information to give you insight. Talk to customers, hold focus groups, and conduct surveys to uncover valuable information from them firsthand and use that to inform your marketing strategies. Gather data from your public desks on the tech questions they receive. Ask for access to their closing reports or any methods they use for tracking specific types of questions. Connect the dots between the questions people are asking and the problems they're trying to solve by using technology. Remember, technology is just a tool to accomplish a task, so understanding the task gives you info about your patrons. Ask around and find out who the heavy hitters are in your community. Which groups, organizations, or companies are on every board, show up at every meeting, and employ the most people? Once you identify key stakeholders, attend meetings, email them directly, and find out what clubs they belong to. Some common ones where the heavy hitters usually participate are Chamber of Commerce, Rotary, and United Way. Find a way to connect with these people. Their support for your program and word-of-mouth marketing to everyone else in the community will lend a ton of credibility to your program. Contact HR people from said heavy hitters and ask if you can send or drop off some flyers on the free classes you offer. Ask if there's an opportunity to come in and talk to employees about the library's classes at a staff day or event. Find out what systems they use and see if you have, or if you can develop, a class to help enhance employee skills. Get permission to place some of the same materials at area stores, churches, movie theaters, doctor's offices, and social service agencies. Basically anywhere your customers go on a regular basis. You never know who might see a flyer when they're leaving Walmart and think, wow, the library offers free classes? Who knew? Forge partnerships with the colleges around you. If they have continuing education or community programs, target those departments. Tell them you want to provide information on their classes to those who need more help than the library can offer. Ask if they'd be kind enough to do the same for you, and can they put out a stack of flyers about your classes? On a side note, 2 of our best instructors work at our local community college, so it's also a great place to advertise any open contractor positions. Develop your speaking skills, especially the ability to think on your feet. Join a Toastmasters group, practice on your kids or your animals, or get in front of the mirror. Whatever you need to do to make sure you're polished when you're put on the spot. Prepare some success stories that show the impact your classes have had on people's lives. Leave personal info semi-anonymous, like Joe from QuickBooks, but personal enough so folks know you're talking about a real person. And have patience. Sometimes it takes a while for word to get out, so don't worry if initial attendance is low. Try some other marketing methods and be open to adjusting the day and time the class is offered before labeling it a failure and scrapping it altogether. Here are some common channels for marketing classes: face-to-face, newsletter, class calendars, posters and flyers, word of mouth, library website, and social media. I encourage you to spend time trying out different channels, finding what works, and developing a marketing strategy to use whichever channel works best. You'll likely start with some wrong assumptions, like I did. When I was new at Gale Borden, I was convinced that using Twitter and Facebook to market our classes would get people in when registration for a particular class wasn't full. I spent a lot of time crafting catchy messages and sending them out only to see no improvement in attendance. It was only after I redesigned my class survey to include a question that asked, "How did you hear about this class?" that I uncovered nearly 100% of our participants attend as a result of seeing the class in our newsletter or having a friend tell them about it. What an eye-opener that was. Understand that good marketing requires experimentation and adjustment before you'll truly be able to uncover what works for your particular community. In the world of marketing, the first idea you have often is the last one you end up using. A new method we're about to try is adding some positive participant comments to the newsletter and some of our flyers and posters. A few other area libraries have been doing this for several months now and have been seeing some success. A comment like, "The class was a good introduction on how to construct and modify charts in Excel. I will definitely be able to use these skills in my job as an administrative assistant, and I look forward to taking more classes at the library." Can go a long way in encouraging folks to try a class. A side note here, if you're new to the whole idea of marketing and want some good online training, check out the free courses available on allison.com. They offer courses such as Intro to Marketing, Social Media Marketing, Web Development and Marketing, and Discovering and Meeting Marketing Needs. Some of the courses even offer a diploma, so you have something to show that you took it. The URL is www.allison.com. Before your classes take place, stop in at other library events where your target audience is hanging out and leave some of your literature. If they don't use social media or look much at the newsletter, they may not know you offer classes. Cross-promotion is a wonderful marketing tool, and most colleagues are happy to let you come and pass out flyers. Place some splashes on social media and your website to get people intrigued. For example, in the picture here, we see one of the catchiest billboards ever. The thing piques the interest of those brave souls driving through the Arizona desert for hundreds of miles. When they finally arrive and see that the thing is, in fact, only a rest stop in the middle of nowhere, it doesn't really matter because it gave them something to look forward to as they drove through those hundreds of miles. Perhaps your thing is a surprise tech class, a free giveaway, or a new learning group. The possibilities are limitless with clever marketing. It's also good to include a hook in your materials that solves a problem for customers, such as, need to keep better track of your expenses during the next tax season? Come see how Microsoft Excel can help you create budgets, track expenses, create charts of spending habits, and more. Design your classes so the activities and examples are relevant to apply in real life. For example, in our evening Microsoft Word classes, we use a resume template for all of our activities because our job and career folks come to our night classes. And finally, send folks a reminder before class so they know you're looking forward to seeing them at the session. It's a small thing, but common courtesy always goes a long way to market your library as a place where folks care and can come for help. While you may not think much about marketing during a class, the way you conduct the class goes a long way toward getting people to return for a future class, feel positive about their experience, and tell others what you're offering. Start by creating a welcoming environment. Be sure you're there and ready to go at least 15 minutes ahead of time. Ensure the room is clean, inviting, and at a comfortable temperature. Stay on top of managing participants. One person who's overly chatty, lost, or repeatedly questions can create a poor learning experience for everyone else. Watch for nonverbal cues, incorporate questions into your lessons when you can, and be sure to politely redirect disruptive participants. Keep to your specified time frame so you can cover all the material outlined in the agenda and provide specific objectives as part of the instruction. Let attendees know what they'll be able to accomplish by the end of the class so they can measure whether or not they learned something. This is key to getting them to return for another class. And don't be shy about taking a moment to cross-promote some of your other class offerings, especially on related topics. If you did a good job with the class, they may want to take classes they weren't even interested in before just because you're teaching them. When class is over, be sure to conduct a survey and gather customer contact information if possible. This allows you to get in touch with past participants for a variety of reasons, including holding focus groups on your offerings, asking them for suggestions for new classes, letting them know about a change you've implemented as a result of their feedback, advising them about new class offerings or schedules, or a host of other things. You can also pass out tchotchkes with your training page URL, website, or contact info on them. People love pens, post-it notes, and flash drives, and they're usually pretty inexpensive. You can even throw in some occasional t-shirts, book bags, or other things to coincide with bigger events like new offerings, signing up for events with low attendance, or attending the most classes over a specific period of time. Ask folks to post a comment on your library Facebook page or tweet about it to their friends if they had a good experience in the class to help you get the word out. And be sure to send them away with a list of upcoming classes to share with family and friends. Remember how important that word of mouth piece is. Now, let's assume your marketing efforts were spot on and your class was full, your participants seemed into it, and the feedback was great. What should you do next? Well, why don't you use my online portal to share your class with other librarians through Gail's Toolkit? Launched in September 2015, Gail's Toolkit is a website for sharing tech class materials. My colleagues and I came up with this idea after we learned that a lot of our friends at other libraries were teaching the same classes we were, but without any formal materials. When we looked at the number of hours that goes into developing a class and multiplied it by the number of librarians who train, we thought it was a huge waste of time for everyone to be designing a slightly different version of the same class. That doesn't make any sense. We realized that if one person developed a class with formal materials and shared them electronically with everyone else, Only one person would have to create a class that a bunch of people could teach. This would leave everyone else free to develop different classes, which also could be shared through the portal. We submitted the idea to ALA Publishing, and they awarded us a Carnegie Whitney grant last year to help us get the project started. So next we'll take a quick look at the portal, and then I'll talk about how we're marketing the toolkit. This is our home page, which includes all the navigation tabs, has information about the toolkit, allows you to share info through social media, and outlines the classes we most recently added to the website. About the toolkit gives users information about the project, members of the project team, and links to our LinkedIn profile so users can connect with us on social media. Learning in Libraries contains a bibliography of resources on instruction in libraries for those who want to build their knowledge base and learn more. Users can search for a specific type of resource using the Books, Articles, or Websites buttons, or print a PDF version using the Full Bibliography button. Tracks and Classes is the heart of Gale's toolkit and where the bulk of our content lives. The buttons you see here represent all the categories of classes we'll have uploaded by the time our project ends next year, as well as the all-important class survey I keep mentioning. Clicking on any category button brings users to that category's landing page. Here users will see all the classes we've uploaded within that category, along with class descriptions and all the materials they'll need to teach the class. We kept the materials simple, using Word, Excel, or PowerPoint, so users can easily download, customize, and personalize them before using them on their participants. Feedback provides a way for users to get in touch with us about the toolkit. They can ask questions, offer comments, request our templates, which they then can use to develop their own classes, and then share content with us to expand our toolkit offerings. Marketing the toolkit has been an awesome experience. We had a designer create a logo for us with a gender ethnic neutral gnome who is holding a tablet and wearing an Apple Watch. The logo made fun use of colors that translated well onto a screen, so there would be a cohesive look with our website. We've put that logo on polo shirts, postcards, post-it notes, and even cookies. We contacted our local library consortium to see if they would sponsor a 2-year subscription for our web portal Wix, which they agreed to do. They also offered to pay us to deliver some professional development webinars, which then provided funds for us to attend the ALA annual conference and market the toolkit to some of the user groups and at social events. At the end of each webinar, they allowed us to plug Gale's toolkit and show the web portal, which brought us some of our first users. We contacted the professor in charge of instruction at our former library school and arranged to come in and speak to her class about instruction in libraries and the toolkit. Not only did we have a great time, but the students loved it, and the teacher's now having us back in the fall to speak to her next class. We've traveled around the Chicago-Rockford metro area and spoken to various networking groups about the toolkit. At one of these groups, we met a manager from our local consortium who just happens to be on a few committees for LEDA. She has become our toolkit champion and is working to help us secure speaking engagements that will promote the toolkit at conferences, on webinars, and in networking groups. She's also introducing us to key stakeholders who may have the vision, staffing, and means to take over the project long-term after our grant is wrapped up next year. We submitted a poster session on the project for our state library conference last year and had a great time sharing info on the toolkit with some of our more rural colleagues. This year, we've upgraded to a full panel presentation, and since the conference is in Chicago, we'll get to meet a lot of the urban librarians that we missed at the last one. We answered a call for proposals to write a chapter for an upcoming textbook on library instruction, and we're thrilled to learn that our proposal was accepted for publication. In our chapter, we talked about the process we use to build the robust training program we have here at the library, and how that process grew into the idea that became Gale's toolkit. We put nearly half of our grant budget into marketing efforts because getting the word out is paramount to the project's success. If librarians don't know the toolkit's out there, they won't be able to use it to help improve offerings at their libraries and contribute their own original content. In addition, our vision for the project was to get it started and then hand it off to a larger organization or group with more resources who would maintain and expand it over time. That's why putting effort into socializing the idea with key decision makers at organizations like ALA, LEDA, PLA, and the Illinois Library Association is so important. The last idea I'll leave you with today is to be shameless about marketing yourselves in any kind of library work you do. This is the hardest part for all of us librarians because we're usually pretty humble people who get into this work because we want to serve others. That being said, if you market yourself well, you will be put in a position to market your library services. It's that simple. If you get your name and your face and your ideas out there in the community, folks will be receptive to what you have to say about what the library can offer them in terms of programs and services. I once attended a conference where the keynote speaker, a local bookstore owner, described the importance of marketing in libraries with this quote: "The biggest reason that people hang out at bookstores all day instead of libraries is because bookstores spend a ton of time marketing their collections and services, while libraries just assume that people know what's inside. If libraries did a better job of promoting what people could get and do and see there for free, everyone would be at the library instead." As promised, here is my contact information in case you want to learn more about the toolkit or need additional info on any of the topics I've discussed today. I appreciate y'all inviting me to speak today, and now I'd like to open it up for questions.